Lambre. It's already been 20 years. No idea how time flew so quickly. I'll tell you how it all first started. The idea came pretty much out of nowhere. We had no money, no marketing or sales department. There was me, there was Patrick. I didn't really know him that well at the time. I just knew he was making French perfumes. The business that I've started, everyone was telling me it wouldn't work out. Well, it turned out quite differently. Why did this business work out? I think it was because I met some really great partners. Very dedicated to the whole idea, which was, I think I can safely say, a challenge for us. In the beginning, we had only perfumes. What I can say about the packages is that they weren't the finest examples of graphic design. Every packaging has its price, and so we had the packages we could afford. But I can honestly say that I was always trying my best so that the product inside that packaging would be of the highest quality. I think that's what made us successful, the combination of two elements. The people, which I have met in my life, and the product of which you really couldn't be ashamed. Lambre was developing very slowly, step by step, but we were gradually expanding our assortment and improving the quality of our products. There came a moment when perfume stopped being enough for our clients. And that was a very important decision which I made then, by introducing the next range, that being creams. As you know, I had to have worthy partners for this project, like Patrick Sabater, because, once again, I didn't want to be ashamed of the quality of what we were selling, of what you would be offering to your clients. Those were creams in 3 basic lines. Our biggest bestseller was a hand cream. A hand cream which we were selling in hundreds of thousands. It was so good that people even started to tell themselves that it was a healing cream, which obviously wasn't true. But it was nice nevertheless. I have met Patrick Sabater when I was a director in a different company. And actually, I was asked to sign a contract with him in the name of that company. I've also met his father then, who was a perfume creator. A very nice man. As for Patrick, well, he made an impression on me, of a very open-minded person, not afraid of any markets, even Polish, Ukrainian and Russian ones. And that's how our friendship started. A friendship which began a long time ago. It's been already 24 years, so quite a long time. But we still keep in touch, you know. Patrick's company has become one of the biggest companies creating components for perfumeries all over the world. For brands known worldwide. Which doesn't stop him from being friends with me and delivering us products of great quality, even now. As usual, my relationships with people were very often coincidental. But I think I have a good nose for finding people who are very invested in business, who are very honest, and that makes a big potential for success. I met Oksana and Volodya when I was in Ukraine, completely by accident, when I was recruiting partners for a cooperation with a different company. Volodya and Oksana were also doing something else entirely. It's also a coincidence that there were 20-something people there. I've asked all of them for their names, surnames and telephone numbers. Oksana and Volodya were somewhere in the middle of the list I created. When it turned out that the partner I was supposed to work with resigned, I started looking through the list, and I decided to call Oksana and Volodya to give them a shot. They came to the meeting with me, very nicely dressed, if I can say so. Oksana was attracting attention with a mini-skirt on, and I think Volodya even had a tie on, which is a rarity when it comes to him. And you know, I think that's what made me call them, the feeling that they were taking this seriously. That's how it started, little by little, and it lasts up to this day. The world, well, it looks both better and worse. Why better? Because there was less competition, less products on the market. Marketing and advertising wasn't so aggressive. And our consultants were the best and only advertisement. There weren't so many perfumery products on the market, and the ones that were available were terribly expensive. And I think I've simply taken advantage of that moment. I gave people a fragrance and quality of French perfumes for a much better price. Obviously, all women want to smell nicely of French perfumes, and not of some cheap or Chinese ones. My company is a family company. It's actually another coincidence. My son was about to get a degree in journalism, and he had no intention of working with me. To tell you the truth, he didn't want to do anything together with me. To dive, listen to jazz, or work together for that matter. Every person, especially a young one, has a right to their own decisions. I wasn't going to meddle in his life. But the company kept growing, and I just needed someone to work with. I wasn't able to take care of all the matters on my own anymore. I had to look for somebody who would help me. And well, Maciej was the oldest, and the rest of my sons were too young. So I decided to look for a director that would help me with managing the company. But my son, when he noticed what was happening, said to me something I remember to this day. He said that I would give this whole company away before he even finished his studies. So I told him, you have a choice. You can finish your studies and at the same time work for me. Because it won't be such a fast process, learning all the secrets of this company. He agreed. He was a very young person. He was accompanying me on all the business trips, and I was slowly teaching him how to run the company. Then there was Bartek, who by that time had grown up enough to be able to take on more responsible tasks in life, especially when it comes to managing household economics on his own. I figured that my sons, the oldest and the middle one, were so different that were I to give them different tasks, they would never compete with each other. They'd only cooperate. And that's exactly what happened. That team was later joined by Anya, Bartek's wife. And I think it's good that she's not working with her husband, but with her husband's brother. Currently, she's taking care of the most challenging tasks in the company. I think, thanks to this team, our company has a chance to establish completely different type of business relations and to grow in a very different way. Without them, this company probably wouldn't have this special kind of potential, which it still has because the company keeps growing. Am I proud of how we're growing? Sure I am, but I'd like our growth to be even faster. I'd like to see the day when the United States are one of our markets, and not even the most important one. You have to believe and dream that you'll be successful. If you won't believe, you'll never be successful. Faith is essential. Anecdotes, I have lots of them, especially from the beginning of our relationship. I mean, we all knew each other. I knew every single one of our directors and distributors, their children, problems, and there were a lot more problems than today, mind you. Although I can honestly say that where there were problems, there were less conflicts. We were a really great pack of friends, almost a family. We could tell each other everything, work, have fun, or just spend time together. And we really didn't need much money for that. I can tell you that in the beginning, when I started to work, I would often come to Lvov, and I used to sit with Oksana night after night, working, and her whole warehouse was a wardrobe. We were pulling a lot of all-nighters while working on company strategies. The only restaurant we could afford at that time was some garden by the bar shaded with umbrellas. There was beer, crisps, guitar, and lots of people kept joining us. It was really, really nice, even if a bit cold. Best lambre party? The 5th anniversary of lambre on the ship. We were on a cruise during which we entered many different ports where people would greet us with bread and salt. It was a pretty big adventure. Another really great party was the 7th anniversary in Poland, when my partners from across the whole world, Patrick and Eric from China, were also present. I think it was a great summary of the years of success which we all created together. I think our biggest value are people. All spectators that observed our company claim that our biggest advantage are people, their loyalty to the company. As you know, in all companies there are worse years and better years, more or less successful projects. And those that are with us believe that, even if something didn't work out for us, it wasn't done on purpose or because of greediness, but the project that just didn't work out for some reason. And they believe we'll still be working together and know that the products which they sell and we give them are not something to be ashamed of. You know, I can't imagine my life without lambre at this point. In my life, I've done many different things. I was a naval officer. I was the director of an insurance company. And I was also an agent for an American company producing packaging. In all those positions, I was more or less successful. But where would I be without lambre? No idea. I don't know, and honestly, I don't even want to know. It's like being where I am currently. I think I wish for everyone to be happy, irrelevant of their material state. I find that people don't really need that much to be happy. Of course, they need enough money to pay their bills, give an education to their children. But that car, for example. I mean, sure, it's nice if you can have it, but I don't think it gives any real happiness, only troubles. There are lots of such material elements that seem to make us happy, but actually only enslave us. We have more and more obligations because of them, and we have no time for each other, because we have to take care of some material things. But obviously, it's important to have a comfort of some basic existence. And I'd like for everyone to know that. I think the older you are, the more you understand it. And well, for lambre, I wish success. I've always said that the measure of our success is how we are recognized. That wherever you appear, at the hotel, on the street, somebody comes up to you and says they've heard about you and they know you. It shows if our work and brand is recognizable, and that in turn will definitely bring us satisfaction. As for Lambre's mission, I'd like for it to be the quality of life, no matter how it would be defined. For some, it will be the quality through money, being able to buy things they want. For some, the freedom not to go to work. And for some, the satisfaction of using a cream, thanks to which a woman feels prettier. For some, it's working with people that we cooperate with. And for some, the journey with Lambre. So for me, that mission, even if it sounds a little grandiloquent, is for Lambre to make people happy. Lambre, 20 years ago, was completely different from how it is now. Now, we're at a completely different stage of growth. If you have an old catalogue from the first years and compare it with the most recent one, you can see that now we're a completely different company with completely different potential. I'll tell you about the one thing that my friends envy me. That being my children taking over my beloved business. Why did it happen? I don't know. Maybe I just infected them with this enthusiasm. Maybe they didn't have a different option. One way or another, it happened. Many of my friends envy me this, because they have their own companies. But their children either don't have the required abilities, or just don't want to take over. There is no continuation. I know that, thanks to my children, Lambre will develop even better, even more dynamically. And most importantly, it will be more resistant to crisis. Because the current team consists of very smart people. My children have done an amazing job for Lambre to protect it from many business dangers, so that it could grow, so that we could have new products. And that gives us the confidence that Lambre will thrive and continue to develop. And in 10 years' time, we'll be in a completely different place than we are today. From that, I am really proud. And I hope that it's also a guarantee for you that this business is stable. Well, I've told you about the past 20 years. I don't know if it was interesting or not, but that's how it was, more or less. Now I'd like for my son, who is currently running the company, along with Anya, to tell you about the future, the possibilities, and the perspectives that await us in the next 20 years. I think the company is in good hands, and that Maciej will have lots of strategy ideas for our company to share with you.